Larry Miller got it instead. I'm kidding.
Our Larry, when? What movie?
Second act.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
he was
Larry's,
he was
Larry's,
great in it.
not doing well. I'm sorry. to say.
Oh, really? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Larry, who's a pretty good friend of mine,
Yeah.
Was a pretty good friend of mine. We haven't seen each other for a long time now, but
Yeah.
part of the reason for that is that he was walking someplace in Los Angeles. He slipped on the curb, fell back, and hit the back of his head. Hit his head on the curb. I shouldn't say the back of his head. He hit his head on the curb, and he's never fully recovered from that.
Wow.
Is that Larry David? Larry David?
No, Larry Miller,
Okay, sorry.
Wow.
who's a very, very, very funny comedian.
He's one of the first. The first time I ever saw comedy, I saw him. He was on the show. It was like him, Jerry. It was like I saw everybody, like Jerry Seinfeld, Paul Reiser, Bill Maher, and Larry Miller, all in the same show.
Well, that's a lot like the cast of this show. Wouldn't you agree, Mike?
Yeah, I
Ladies
would
and
agree.
gentlemen watching on the
Right.
YouTube.
Yeah,
and
If
whatnot.
there were a scintilla of truth.
Yeah, we're the Gilligan's Island version, the Castaways.
Right.
Yeah.
Moving this to a monthly show has not made it any easier to get started. It's like herding a
You know,
bunch
it all
of cool
depends.
cats.
What do you mean by getting started?
Well, Mike, the YouTube's been on for about 3-4 minutes, and we brought up the death of somebody. We sound like the saddest group of old men.
No, he's not the death of somebody. Someone else that that both Alan and I know.
Welcome to the show. It's time to audit the vote, everybody. We look like a homeowners association meeting.
Oh, wow.
Florida.
Somebody
wow.
who's pitching auditing the vote is interesting.
I
Auditing.
was wondering if perhaps we could get the show started.
Right. What is that big home for old folks? Like that whole the villages down in Florida. Like this
right.
is what I picture their homeowners association meetings.
Del Boca Vista on
With a lot
Seinfeld.
of people like, huh? You're on mute. No, you're not, Billy. You're on mute.
Yeah.
Must be me.
You're just deaf, you sick fuck.
Well,
Speaking
of sick fucks, let's give a nice round of applause to our host and MC, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
He's a good guy, but he doesn't like the troops. Mike Langworthy, ladies and gentlemen.
He's a good guy, but he doesn't like the truth. Nice.
He can't handle the truth.
I don't dislike the truth.
He can't handle it.
Yeah.
That's an impression. Everybody's going, "Who is that?" I don't know what you're doing.
You can't handle the troops.
The troops. Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, welcome all of you. And it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be here whenever I'm here. And I really look forward to seeing all of these guys. My hair's a little flyaway tonight. I mean, it hasn't flown away like some of the other people on the show, but it's flying. That's one of the problems that you have when you have this massive, thick, ageless mop of hair that I've not everybody has that problem, but I do. So I want to do this thing, Chuck.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I'm going to do it. And so it's something that occurred to me because, as Chuck was saying, for those of you who were already here when that happened, there seems to be a plethora of young comics.
Like your language.
You talk to your mother with that? No, no, I don't, because she's dead. But she's dead, and I know it. Unlike Anthony Perkins. Anyway, you see, Anthony Perkins was in the original Psycho. I could meander like this all night, but I keep meandering somewhere else. Anyway, here's the thing. Who's Susan Goodwin, by the way? Susan Goodwin just a civilian? Is that somebody that I should know? Should I not do this bit? Chuck, you know what the
We're
bit
gonna
is.
find out. I think we're gonna find out.
You know what the bit is, and I don't want to do it.
Susan Goodwin is my wife.
Oh, okay, so she's in the
He said that very angrily.
You've,
Wow.
you've talked with her before.
Yes, I have, but here's the thing. I don't learn anything I don't absolutely have to.
That's right.
Oh, wow.
So if I'm not, it's not mandatory that I learn both of your wife's names. Both of the names of your wife. So I haven't, and I apologize.
I think you had it right the first time. Both of my wives' names. I think it's the correct.
Well, I didn't know that at the time. I was willing to give you the benefit of the doubt, but I thought it was very big of me.
All right, that's our show. Thank you, Good night, everybody.
Oh, my
Whoa.
belly is shaking like a bowl full of jelly. Now,
Didn't realize this was a comedy workshop, everybody.
Ooh.
Look at the master class happening.
Yeah, you guys, what I'm saying here is this. There's a plethora of comics in Denver who for some reason believe that it's cutting edge humor to tell people that they're bisexual in 2022. And gay marriage is actually legal in half the states. And it just bothers me a lot that they think that that's so. Now, see, if there's something about being bisexual that's really unique to you and you want to talk about it, that's great. I love that. And I could care less who you have sex with. I really could care. I mean, I was born male, but I identify as someone who does not give a shit about your sexuality. I was thinking, as is my want, and this is only intended to, I only do this because I want to mock the people who think that they're so cutting edge by the fact that they are now admitting that they have sex with people of more than one persuasion, shall we say. So I was thinking that this is a Hack Comics version of how he decides to come out. So I'm sucking my history teacher's dick for a better grade. I mean, we've all been there, right?
Right?
And I'm about halfway through. Well, I don't know if I'm halfway through or not because it's really not entirely in my control. It depends on a lot of factors. And so anyway, I'm about halfway through, and I'm really going to town on. And I think to myself, wait a minute, I'm already getting an A in history. Is it possible I'm enjoying this? Could I be liking this? So I go home and I ask my boyfriend, Connor, because I was dating a stereotype at the time. So anyways, Connor, could I possibly enjoy sex with men? And Connor's like, well, you don't enjoy it with me. Anyway, so, I'm working on it. I don't know if it's going to be funny or not.
So is Connor.
It's what? What'd you say?
Nothing. I was here in my notes, working on jokes.
Are you?
So does that mean you're an amateur gay because you're doing it for the love of the game and not for
I don't know.
a
I
grade?
don't know.
Is that what it
Yeah,
is?
I think that's what's known as being a practicing homosexual.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you were experimenting like a scientist.
He puts the road in rodeo, everyone.
Now, back in the olden days, somebody had a joke. I can't remember. I now I remember who it was. It just says, I read someplace that you can have up to four. You can have up to four gay sexual experiences before you have to start thinking about whether you might be gay.
Oh,
A big relief because I've got two left. He said.
there you go.
So anyway,
You got two in your back pocket, so to speak.
Back at 2 and 2.
If they go any lower, he'll have none left. Okay.
Hello.
Uh,
hello.
Cheers.
Yeah,
Oh, wait, we're streaming this? Oh, no.
that was one of my.
Right.
No, we're not streaming. We just put it on the children's television workshop.
There you go.
You just send it to the one place. And Bert and Ernie like to stay up late on
Oh.
nights.
That's it. You know what they say, you're not gay until you've blown Barney. That's when you're gay.
No, I didn't know that they'd said that. I realized,
Yeah.
no idea they'd said that.
I love you.
But
you
he's got
love
those-
me.
When you say they, do you mean they in the pronoun?
They, in the sense that Barney is now a they.
Oh, okay.
The hard thing about Barney, so to speak,
Hello.
Barney's penis size is proportional to his forelimbs,
Oh,
which is always goes over. That's the real reason for the extinction of the Tyrannosaurus Rex.
His dick is also corkscrew shaped like a pig, so he's pretty much just good for opening.
There's actually a
bottle of
reason for
wine.
that, you know? I didn't realize.
You would know.
You know, some of this show is just education, Chuck.
Right.
What have I said since the very beginning of this? You don't just laugh on the open mic, you also learn. So
Right.
don't mock me for educating people. Don't mock
Right.
me.
so,
No, I
so
wouldn't do that.
will this
Mock
be,
me, mock me
will
for
thi-
not being funny.
will this be on the test?
I'm still
Yeah,
looking at
it's on the
plethora.
No, I'm hearing bings as Susan Goodwin and the Longshore's parents get off the call.
Right. If we have any YouTube viewers left, what should they know about the corkscrew shape of a pig's penis?
What should they know? I mean, I
Yeah.
don't care. I don't care if they know it or not. I just thought there was a reason. I thought I would tell you what the reason was.
What's the
but, you know,
reason for
But
it?
I've been shamed out of it by my partner. So
Ah,
it's because the whole point in the animal kingdom of having sex is to be able to stay in the adjacent area long enough to inject semen into the vagina.
wow.
And with a corkscrew penis, while the female pig may be surprised, she won't be getting away until the act is over. That's why they have a corkscrew penis. There are various variations on a theme in the animal kingdom, but it's all intended to help procreation.
Okay.
So- It sounds like you just accused every male pig of rape, is what it just sounded like.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it's an open question whether or not there's the kind of rens mea. But that's criminal. That's called criminal mind. That's like,
Right,
because they're trying to procreate, and I don't know what a female pig. What is a female pig's? A hen? Is that what they're called?
Karen.
Pardon me. Somebody should look that up.
What are her pronouns?
Okay, so I've wasted a bunch of time, and I think I might have made a slightly negative impression on Susan Goodwin the last time she was at the show. And
She
I
she
think I've
thought you were delightful.
I completed the job tonight. So now that I've alienated Chip's significant other, or if we're to believe Chip, one of his significant others, I think I'm going to move on with the show. Chuck, what do you think of that?
I think that's a great idea.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I support you wholeheartedly.
Yeah. So we have people coming from a couple of different continents tonight. We have a lot of us are coming from an out continent, which is why I did the opening joke that I did, and the rest of us are coming from incontinence. So speaking of incontinence and the people whose spouses I've alienated, why don't I bring Chipp Jones on for our first act, since we need somebody who's really, really good to follow my whole thing, as Chuck said before everybody got here.
I don't know about that, but I'll go.
All right, Chipp Jones, come on.
Yay.
Platform. We're only a small group.
All right, Chip.
Yeah, let's sound like a slightly larger small group. Okay.
That's right. Happy Valentine's Day.
Yay!
Yeah. So a little change of pace for me. I've been kind of down because I been dealing with some death in my family. My aunt passed away recently, and I was up in New York at her funeral, and I realized that God, I haven't been in church in a long time. Church has changed. I mean, high tech. The church that her funeral was in, they had surround sound. They had flat screen TVs everywhere, and they would put the hymns up on the flat screen TV so people could see the lyrics. And I thought that was kind of cool. I was a little disappointed because they didn't have the little bouncing balls so that you could keep up and have a cadence. So some of the young people probably don't remember the sing-alongs, you know.
I think those were on the pastor's chin.
That's right, yeah. And I got in a little trouble because, you know, when I saw the lyrics up like that, I started to treat it like karaoke. And yeah. Let me just tell you, I tried to get them to do Three Times a Lady twice, but they wouldn't do it. They just refused. But what's going on? I had a great meal for Valentine's Day. My son actually cooked the family meal for us.
Nice.
My wife will not kvetch about me telling you this, but my wife is how do I put this? She's the kind of cook who could burn water, you know. So yeah. So the scariest thing in our house is when someone utters the words "Mom's cooking dinner." So it was nice that she let my son do it this evening. But I love her dearly. I mean, we've been married for 30 years, you know. Amazing. Isn't it amazing? I know. And
that's amazing.
Our 30th anniversary, I went to the wedding websites to find out what the gift was for 30 years. And the gift is pearl. Pearl is the gift for 30-year anniversary. But when I went to my bank website, it said back rub. Back rub is the gift. So my wife got a lovely back rub and a gift, or I should say a card from Wells Fargo. So that's how that went down. You know, 30 years, you're long enough in that relationship that you're not pretending to be someone that you're not anymore. So, so you know, the gift thing is different at the 30-year mark. You know, when you're newly married or just engaged or, you know, newly dating somebody, you know, you're riding on that present because that's your reputation. You know, you're going big, you're going diamonds, you're going, you know, something large. You know, at 30 years, you know this person, you know, so you're free to go with, you know, orthopedic socks. You know, that's what she needs. That's what I'm getting at. Orthopedic socks.
Cute.
But you know, I made that mistake early in our relationship, though. I think it was probably our second or third Christmas together as a married couple, and I fell for that. I fell for that trick, you know, when my wife said, "Oh, you know, we're kind of poor, so this year let's not give each other Christmas presents. We'll save the money and we'll give presents to other people." Yeah, don't fall for that trick. Christmas Day, she has a package for me and hands it to me. I was like, wait, I thought we weren't giving gifts. You didn't get me anything? I'm like, oh man. You would not believe how hard it is to buy jewelry at 6 a.m. on a Sunday. I mean,
on the upside, you can get gas at the same place, though.
That's right. It is hard. Do not fall for that. So I always tell young newlywed husbands or people who've just moved in with a significant other, always buy a gift and hide it in the house. You know, that's your safety gift. You know, always have a safety gift and a card, you know, for that surprise, it's our 55th week anniversary sort of thing, you know. And, when you get the card, make sure the card is blank on the inside, because I made that mistake too. When you open up the card, it said Happy Hanukkah. Yeah. Oops. That's totally wrong. Well, I'm Chip from DC, and I thank you guys for listening on this Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Yeah. A Valentine's set. Wow.
Chip. That was excellent. It's nice to see a guy willing to do comedy on the penultimate day of his marriage. There's not a lot of open mics where you're going to get the word plethora followed by the word penultimate.
Ultimate, right?
This show is brought to you by the letter P and by the actual P, as Chuck is wearing a Depends as we speak. Why? Because he doesn't like to get up from his desk. It's not that he has a problem with his.
Well, no, I'm enthralled with this show.
Yeah, don't want to leave your seat. That's all. When it's, I can respect that if it's just out of laziness. I can respect
Right.
it. We
No,
gotta
this is-
help with-
No
Oh,
disrespect, but this is some shitty comedy.
Wow. Wow. I don't for the performance, I don't feel that way. I just want you to know. My comedy maybe, but not everybody's comedy. There was someone who had a special request, and I'm going to honor that next by bringing up our next performer. He's going to be, hey, did the parents come? Did they? Oh yeah, they did. John's here. Hey, how are you? Hope you missed the opening bit. All I can say.
Wait, are you talking about me? Wait a minute.
No, not the opening comic, the opening bit before you came on. I just hope they weren't here for that because, well, for obvious reasons. All right, well, we can all just, lighten up. It's a lovely show. Anyway, our next performer comes to us all the way from Long Island. And you guys are going to love him. You've loved him before. You'll love him again. Please welcome Bruce Lipsky.
Yay!
Hello, everybody. Thank you. And,
Hey.
in keeping with the theme of the show over here, Chipp Jones, 30 years of marriage. I just celebrated 30 years of wedded bliss.
Yay!
No, wedded blisters. It rubbed me the wrong way all these years. And I got the calluses to prove it. But my wife actually had some minor surgery recently, and in 1 week she had a CAT scan and a PET scan. So I said to the vet, doctor, what's next? Check for fleas? And I also said to the doctor, I said, do me a favor, the way she's been behaving lately, maybe you can test her for distemper. And she said to the doctor, maybe you should test him for my foot and his mouth disease. But, when I first met my wife, our love was infectious. Now our relationship is just chronic. And I still find ways to get her angry. Let me tell you that. She really does try hard, my wife. She really tries to be a good cook. She makes a broccoli casserole to die for. Literally. We had a party the other day, and she served finger food. I said, honey, those things are delicious. But next time, you got to clip the nails. She gave me the finger. And she gets so angry because, she spends an hour online looking for a recipe, an hour shopping, and another hour cooking. And in 30 seconds, my son will say, you're cooking that shitty chicken again? And she yelled at me the other day, my wife. She said, Bruce, you think I'm running a 5-star restaurant over here? I said, apparently you are, because every time you cook, I have reservations. And, you may have heard this, Chip, as you get older, your skin gets thinner, which is kind of weird because after 30 years of marriage, I certainly developed a much thicker skin. And I was a player. I was a player when I was younger. I used to have lots of dates. Now, nothing but prunes.
Hello.
Oh.
And my wife said, you comparing me to a prune? I said, of course not. You have less wrinkles. And I said to my wife the other day, I said, every time I'm talking to you this past week, you don't seem to be acknowledging the conversation. Do you have loss of hearing? She says, no, I got loss of listening. And interest. And marriage is like my bank account right now. Very little interest. But I told my wife, I said to her, you know, if you ever left me, I'd be a hit at the 55 and over community. You know why? Because I got my original hips.
Hello.
But she said, you don't have the original hair. I told her when I was younger, I used to part my hair. Now my hair's departed.
Oh.
But you know, I worry it'll turn into my parents. I'm thinking about my dad. You know, he showed up at his office, doctor's office the other day, and the doctor told me, he said, "Bruce, I got some complaints about this guy. I got real concerns. Your dad showed up in my office carrying a small chair." I said, "Did you ask him why?" He said, "Yeah, that was his stool sample."
Oh,
And it kind of makes sense because he's been complaining of hard stools lately. I just hope I don't inherit his hard stool. So the doctor said you should take him to the hospital. So I took him to the hospital for some tests. And we're walking in the hallway, and I put my arm around my dad. I said, "Dad, don't worry, I got your back." He said, "That's okay, but I hope you don't have my back. How about taking my prostate?" So as we're walking down the hall, this guy is wheeling this machine with all these tubes and hoses. My father stops him and says, "Mister, you're not going to hook me up to that machine today, are you?" The guy says, "I hope not for your sake. It's a carpet cleaner." But my dad was a philosopher. He always said, "Bruce, you should always put your best foot forward." Who knew at age 66, my best foot has the gout? And my second best foot always winds up in my mouth. Thank you. My name is Bruce Lipsky. I appreciate you listening.
yeah. Bruce Lipsky. Everything you ever wanted to know about getting older. In case you were thinking about wanting to live through it. Don't. That's all I can say. Anyway, thanks a lot, man.
Thank you.
Good to see you. So that's Bruce. And now we're going across the big pond, but only one of them. For James Longshore. He's like warming up like he's a fighter. Great, I love it. James Longshore from Romanesque, Long Island, all the way from Europe. Please welcome James Longshore. James Longshore, come on.
Hello, everybody. Hello, open micers. Happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you.
You know what makes Valentine's Day even more special in Romania?
No.
It's imported. I just want to send a quick shout out to my wife on Valentine's Day, who loves me both because of my brain and despite it. I haven't seen you guys since last year, I think, right? Last year?
That's correct.
It was last year for you guys. Have you guys caught up? Are you still 6 hours behind or?
Yeah, we're still 6 hours behind you.
And of course we had since the last time I was here, we had a whole wave of Omicron, which annoyed me because it should be called Omnicron because it was everywhere.
Good one.
Now, of course, a lot of countries are treating COVID not as a pandemic, but as an endemic. So I guess they think it's almost over.
Huh.
The big news, of course, that I've got to share with you guys is I'm going to be rich. I'm going to be rich. And it's all you. I would share, but you guys are going to be rich too, because it's all due to this show. This show, I don't know, Chuck mentioned it, but this show, you can get it on Spotify now. On Spotify, and some of my sets are on it. So now I just have to sit back and wait for the royalties to roll in.
Yeah.
The royalties, my friend, the royalties.
There's been, of course, some, speaking of Spotify, there's been some deaths since the last time I was here. Meatloaf died. And I don't want to make a joke about it because that would just be in bad taste.
Mhm. Mhm.
Oh, no.
You know, it's been like 2 or 3
Flag on the
weeks.
play.
I thought that might not be fresh, that meatloaf joke. But like I just got last week in my Spotify feed, Rip Meatloaf. I'm like, you're just hearing about this Spotify? You don't read the internet? Also, Bob Saget died. Bob Saget died, which is a shame because now there's never going to be a Fullest House where he would play the role he was born to play, an old grandpa telling dirty jokes, right? So I also went to Sicily, actually. I went to Sicily before the last time I was here, but I didn't want to say anything because I was waiting for the postcard to arrive. My parents watched the show. I didn't want to ruin the surprise of the postcard. But they received the postcard, so I went to Sicily. It was nice. Didn't have to wear masks. Our Airbnb guy was like, yes, it is mandatory to wear a mask in Sicily, but Sicilians, we don't like it, so we don't do it.
Wow.
And you know, they had a credit union there, Sicilian Credit. I think the down payment is a kneecap. Here's my piece of advice. For going to Italy, you know, to foreign countries, a lot of people want to learn the curse words, you know, like bangul, bangul. No, learn how they say insults in other languages. Because this guy was like, imbocile, imbocile. I'm like, what does that mean? Imbecile, you imbocile. The one thing I'm afraid about in Italy is going to the Vatican, because I'm afraid I'll just like walk in there and catch on fire. But my wife is like, don't worry, there have been popes in there and they didn't catch on fire.
Hello.
All right. Just one little topic before I go. Ukraine, my parents are worried about me here, you know, being right next door to Ukraine. But I'm not worried about Ukraine. I'm worried about me, Ukraine.
Oh,
It's not that different here in Romania from America. Like in America, when a kid's dog dies, you say that the dog went to a farm upstate. And here you say they went to a farm on the border with Ukraine. Mike, or All Four Eyes, as I'll call him tonight, he likes to say that Romania, he doesn't like Romania much. He doesn't care for it. He likes to call it a shithole country. It's not a shithole country. It's in the EU. The EU does not allow shithole countries. That's why Britain had to leave.
Oh.
But Mike, I want to extend this invitation to you. You know, you should come here and have dinner with me. I can book a restaurant.
Wow.
Okay.
It will change your mind. That's it for me, guys. It is
Okay.
great to
get
see
together
you.
right now.
Bravo.
Book a restaurant. Whoa, that's unbelievable.
What's
So
our
you go to
favorite?
why don't you go to Bulgaria and go to the restaurant with Sophia? Let's,
Ooh la la.
that was Jane,
Terrific.
you, and yeah, terrific and great closing jokes too, man. You should get together with Bruce and write, because the two of you have similar sensibilities that way. A lot of wordplay.
Bruce.
And when I say get together, I mean virtually get together. I'm sure you don't want to go to
We go
London.
back to the start of COVID, him and I.
Yeah. Anyway, that was. I'm really happy to see you back. Happy to do the show again. Frankly, I missed it this last 4 weeks. All I got to see was Chuck, and you know what that's like.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh, come on, man. You know I love you, and mostly I love you because I get a chance to mock you when you can't reach out and hit me. That's what I like. So, speaking of guys who are from places even more backward than Romania, our next performer
Wow.
comes to us from Toledo, Ohio, where I hear they're getting paved roads next year. So
Well,
welcome
they're ahead of
to-
us. Damn.
Jeffrey Burden, ladies and gentlemen. Jeffrey,
Yeah.
what a moron.
Yeah.
He's wearing a black long sleeve shirt. What an idiot. Oh, wait.
But it's on backwards. It's to go along with what you said. I thought I would,
Yeah.
just go with it. Just go with it. That's what I'm about tonight. Going
Go
with
with
it,
it.
guys. How about we give it up for Mike, our host, Mike Langworthy, everybody. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you so much. It's a good time, guys. I turned 44 last month. It's pretty amazing. I'm trying to I'm trying to stick with the healthy way of doing things. Like, for lunch, today I had eggs, I had green beans, and then for dessert I had Gas X. I just want to make sure that I there's that. Celebrating Valentine's Day, guys. 18 years ago today. I'm getting ahead of myself. 18 years ago today, I had my first Valentine's with my then girlfriend. She's now my wife, and I took her to a wonderful restaurant, Taco Bell. We had Taco Bell.
Wow.
And we just
Big spender.
we wanted a vacation. We wanted to run for the border, but instead we went to Taco Bell. Yeah, that's true. It's true. And we kept up with the tradition this year. We did. It keeps the romance alive.
Sure.
And the flatulence. Being completely honest, there's, yeah. Sometimes the two marry each other. Sometimes you have a little more of the latter. Whoa. But I do, guys. I take walks now in the evening. I take walks out when it's dark. It's fantastic. I got to be careful though. Over the holidays, I was taking a walk, and there's no easy way to say this. I had an accident. Okay, all right.
Oh, no.
I had an accident. If you let's put it this way: if you have stock and depends, you made a little money that night. That's what I mean. All right, that's just all right. It was and all of a sudden when it happened, I had the song, that wonderful Christmas song, came into my head. It came upon a midnight smear. That, what I'm talking about? Yeah. And then after a while, I had that poppy Christmas song, and I went, "Last Christmas, I gave you my fart." And, I don't know. There's that. I don't know, you guys. Silly stuff. Silly. What can I say? I just want to be silly all the time. I talk with my father too, and he's big into the holidays. He's always telling me, "When are you coming down to see me, Dad?" And I'm a busy guy. I can't see him all the time, but he's very heartfelt. When it comes to talking to me on the phone, especially when we're getting ready to hang up. He says, "Jeffrey, I love you like the blue in the sky and the yellow in the sun." Just like, wow, Dad, you must be really looking at a Bob Ross painting. That's what you're doing right now, right? That's what yeah. I don't know. I love my dad. We didn't grow up. I didn't see him all the time. I saw him every 6 months here and there, right? I don't know. We have it's a love, not hate relationship, a love / problems relationship. But we're hanging in there, right? But he does say to me now, he says, "I don't know what I'm going to do, Jeffrey, if I get dementia. I don't know where I'm going to go." I talked it over with my wife though, and we talked it over, and we're more than willing to take him in to a nursing home. It's not a problem. We're ready to do it. He lives 3 hours away. Road trip, Dad. Whatever. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Exciting stuff. I'm a YouTube watcher, guys. I love YouTube, right? I just, I love to watch goofs, right? Like I was watching a malfunction of the Hall of Presidents attraction at the Walt Disney World. They've got all the presidents, the animatronic presidents. They've got Abraham Lincoln. He goes to stand up and he's stuck in a bent over position. It's like, what are those Imagineers doing? What are they? They're missing the bullet hole in his head. What's going on? What's it? An entry and an exit wound, guys. Come on. All right.
Yeah.
I don't know. And, they don't have, they don't have, biting, smelling kids. What's going on? I'm kidding. If they really had the true Biden, he would be falling asleep. I don't know. Whatever. What do you do? What do you do? I don't know, you guys. I just thought that I would say happy Valentine's Day, and you have been lovely. Thank you so much. I want.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Burden, ladies and gentlemen. Jeffrey Burden. Nicely done, Jeff. Do you mind if I call you Jeff? I probably should have asked you that.
Not at all, sir. Not at all.
Should have called you that 15 months ago when the pandemic started. Anyway, Jeffrey Burden from Toledo, Ohio, which is not as backward as the name has come to be synonymous with in the United States. I've been in worse places than Toledo. No, I have. Any place in Nebraska, for instance. Anyway, they actually, some guy named Bubba Chekhov wrote a play called Next Year in Toledo. He was from Lincoln, Nebraska. Just why that's relevant and why it's not funny. So I applaud you as a group. That mountain of silence that I just had to climb.
Relevance is more important than laughs.
It is more important than laughs. And if there's one thing that both of us have learned, isn't that right, Alan?
Boy, this is the most relevant show we've produced.
The show is pretty irrelevant if that's the market. I've been very relevant, that's for sure.
I don't know how does Chuck even know? I see him looking at Grindr the entire show.
Hello.
He's not. You can tell when he's on Grindr because he uses more than one finger. I would be remiss if I didn't mention that Chuck is also a comedian.
Wow.
And it's important for all of you to know that because how would you? And, and he's got a couple of things that he'd like to try out on you.
Yeah.
I mean, not well, he's got a few things.
Joke wise.
Some of the people whose pictures he's looking at right now while I'm on stage. He's also got some jokes he'd like to try out here. So Chuck,
Mike,
why don't you share with the class?
Mike, I will gladly share with the class.
Hey, give it up for Chuck.
Yeah, Chuck.
Give it up for Chuck.
Thank you, everybody. One side note for Bruce Lipsky. Please join us for our annual charity walk. We do the Walk for Gout here in Colorado, so feel free to join us. It's not a long walk. In fact, the more money you raise, the less you have to walk. So please join us then. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Hope you're having a good one. This Valentine's Day, I'm putting the fella in fellatio. Hello.
Yeah.
Mike, fellatio is my favorite Shakespeare character.
Yeah.
That guy was a sucker for Hamlet.
Yeah. Sure.
Anyone who can suck dick in iambic pentameter is a real feat.
I've real feet.
They measure, never mind.
Yes.
There's a poetic reason for the word feet. And
5 real feet.
I'm just saying, if
The joke's not going to work in Europe.
If music play cheeseburgers. Shakespeare doesn't work in Europe either. It's just a big myth.
Pure ageism.
Right, that is ageism. Mike, you've been right all night and probably the entire time I've known you. You're right. I failed to make my television dreams come true. I will never be in an episode of The Jeffersons. It's a bummer, Mike. I'm trying to get my head around it, but I realize that I will never star in the Jeffersons episode where I'm dating Lionel. Remember what that episode was called? Guess Who's Coming After Dinner? Right. And that attracted a whole new sponsor. It was brought to you by Lionel Trains. See what I did there. Mike, we're live streaming is what we're doing. And I got to tell you, students in my business class said, I thought you'd be live streaming forever. Like they said, you're a bear. You should be good at live streaming. I had to wait there. I was nervous while that joke was begging for a laugh. I gotta say, this is when I'm gonna just wrap up on Mike. So just big notice there. I'm happiest when I write a funny joke, and we know it doesn't happen often. I understand that. Once, Mike, I wrote a joke so funny that it made a pig fly right out my nose.
Really?
Yeah, that cop was mad. I've done it. Those are the jokes that I had, and they are therefore done. Thank you for the stage time, Michael Langworthy.
Oh, thank you for the show that I can grant you
Right.
stage time on.
Did
That's
you want to do the ads to pay for?
yeah. Let's do
got it.
it.
Right, we do have some advertisements to bring up.
Yeah.
First of all,
Every month we do the open mic
and it's on the YouTubes. You can watch them right
on the
there.
YouTube.
That's always fun. And
on Colorado comedy shows.
right.
Another thing that I do, and I'm proud to announce that we are in rehearsals finally.
Woohoo!
Having to take a year off of the pandemic on Magic Moments Incorporated show.
What is that, Mike?
Well, it's funny that you should mention that.
I don't know what
I
brought
help to
that
write
up.
the show every year, so
No
I have to
script.
know a little bit about it. It's a show, a musical show that's done every year by a group called Magic Moments, cleverly enough.
Wow.
And what they are is fully inclusive of people with all kinds of special needs, from barely impacted to seriously impacted. And there are large cast shows every year, almost every year. There's between 175 and 200 people in the cast. There's just over 100 this year. So it's considered a pretty small show. And it's because of the pandemic. But it's going to be a great show. And this year, it's a developer comes into a small town called Nederland in Colorado to build a huge resort there. And the townspeople, some of the townspeople love it. Some of the townspeople hate the idea. And it's very musical, very entertaining. My daughter is in it. Usually between 30 and 40% of the people in the cast are people with special needs. And they're always given a significant, important stage time position in the show. They aren't just used as window dressing, which I love. So that's that show. And good news for all of you is you go on the Magic Moments Incorporated site and you can find a way to stream the show. It's not actually streaming. They're going to record the show and stream it for people who are not from the Denver area.
Nice.
Starting the Monday after the show. And it'll be going on during the middle of March, I think. Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yes, it is exciting. And all the shows are ASCAP and BMI a licensed show, so you know that every melody in the show is going to be a winner before you even walk in. So that's that show. And Chuck, don't you support a charity as well?
I do, Mike. Colorado Comedy Shows is the largest donor to elevatingconnections.org, and that's simply because I'm 356 pounds. But we donate 10% of our ticket sales to Elevating Connections. They've got programs for youth who are separated from their siblings by foster care. We also donate 10% of our private event fees. Thank God, because that is a shit ton of money, and it goes to a good cause. Good programs for kids who are in the foster care system. Big news coming up for Elevating Connections. So stay tuned to their website and whatnot for the big announcement. I know what it is, Mike, and you don't. And as James was mentioning, we put these shows on Spotify. You can find us at anchor.fm/my name and such. We have a link tree. It needs water. Please go to it. Our link tree. We're also on the YouTube. If you're watching on the YouTube, click on the subscribe thing, and our fantastic programming will come to you automatically. And speaking of coming to us automatically, whenever we book James Longshore, we have terrific VIP customers, the Longshores, and a variety. Mike, none of your VIPs showed up. Just pointing out.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Susan Goodwin is here as well. So we have VIP gifts for you as well, Susan.
What are those gifts, Chuck?
This would be
Here are the gifts. This week, as promised, we got you a chocolate fountain. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. A big happening little chocolate fountain right there. That's the Colorado Comedy Show's virtual event center breezeway.
Chuck,
Yeah.
Chuck, my wife has her own chocolate fountain. Thank you.
Hello. See what Chipp did there, everybody. Or you can watch that movie on Pornhub. Okay. What goes with the chocolate fountain other than salad?
Yeah,
Salad of the Colorado Comedy Show's virtual event center wants to make sure that you stay healthy and eat a delicious salad, and you can also dip that in your chocolate fountain. Longshore's, I thought you'd have a nice refreshing drink here. A little gin, a little tonic, a little mint. Enjoy.
A lot of mint.
It's like a mojito. But it's for freshens your breath as well.
Okay.
And, I just thought this, I'm not sure what this
How'd that get in there?
I thought, a little friend to meet you at the beach.
Yep, this is a beautiful woman watching her husband walk away with Chuck.
She seems relieved. She's like, I knew it.
As her husband will be in just a moment.
Also wanted you to have a nice spot out on the ocean. It just so you know, this little bench, it took me a lot to get it, but there is a rule. It's for sitting, no equipment or bait on the
I thought it
bench.
said shitting. I had my glasses on there.
And
No.
of course,
everyone gets her own or his own.
got to get your own Carol Channing for all of our VIPs.
What does she sound like, though? I'm not sure. I know
That's
what she
just
sounds
terrific, the way you give away a Carol Channing every time.
Girl's best
And
friend.
this collection of washboards. Enjoy that. If you're low on different types of body spray, perhaps
You can just rub up against one of
these guys. And I thought some apples. I really just was like, there's plenty of fruits in this place, but how about some healthy ones? And
what goes with fruit better than?
I have one more salad. So I hope you enjoy your VIP gifts for this month. That's our Valentine's Day collection. And for those of you watching on the YouTube and those of you up in the balcony who purchased general admission tickets,
Thank you.
we'll get you this guy. I'm not even sure. You can name him. You can decide. Like, is that your pet?
There's a llama farm on Parker Road in the town that I live in. It's
Right. That's where we took this photo.
The Dalai Lama? Did you say?
Right, no, that's
It's run
we
by
use
that
the
guy,
Dalai
Outback.
Lama to move the llamas back and forth in storage.
No, that's not a Dalai Lama.
That's a
Salami Dala.
Lama
Lama
Dala.
Does Alpaca still own that place?
That's a lot.
He does. He does.
That's a llama Dolly Dolly Ding Dong, right? That's it.
Wow. Hello, Dolly.
Well, hello, Dolly. Yeah.
Also got
Carol Channing
you.
was in Hello Dalai Lama.
I got you 7 minutes of pool time at the Fairfield Inn just outside Colorado Springs. So enjoy that. It's very relaxing.
Where'd everybody go?
Fairfield
You couldn't
Inn.
get the very good in? Only get
right.
Fairfield in?
Nope, just the Fairfield Inn. And I wanted you to have some honey, but you got to make your own. So it's make your own
Goes with honey more.
honey, and what goes with make your own honey, but a delicious salad.
Honey mustard dressing, all right?
Honey mustard evening in the winter.
Right.
That's what I usually say. Honey, I made my own. Is that what
Huh.
Sure that wasn't mayonnaise? Anyway, our next performer, Chuck.
Yes.
Mike, I hope there's more. It's been
Oh,
so
there's,
fun.
you know, there's so much more that the Longshores are actually thinking, should we pay like another $10?
Ooh.
Right. Thank you.
And no, you're good, by the way. There's no need for you to send us any more money, and God knows. But our next performer comes to us from the subcontinent, if you will,
Wow.
whether you will or not, actually. His name is Sid Bishnu. Please welcome him with a big round of applause.
Hey.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. It's the day after Valentine's in India. Okay, it's the 15th today. And I'm so happy to be back in my favorite room.
Yay.
I meant my bedroom because
Wow.
my girlfriend made me sleep in the hall since yesterday till yesterday, you know. Yeah. Yeah, guys. So yeah, weekends, you know, I love the weekends. I love the weekends because they are my favorite thing after sex and screaming in my pillow for the whole week. Yeah. By the way, both of them are mutually exclusive activities. Okay. Like, yeah.
Good.
You know, but I feel the weekend is too short, right? It's really short. I mean, it's just for 2 days and it comes after the whole week. So here is my idea. I'm launching a petition demanding 2 weekends. Okay. So one in the middle of the week, we'll call it the pseudo weekend, and one at the end, you know, we'll call it the weekend, you know. So do sign my petition up. It'll be up soon. But here is one problem with that. Here's one problem, I think. Because see, with 2 weekends, we'll also get the 2 depressions, you know. Depression twice a week. It's too much. You know, I already suffer from it, you know. Like some days, I just curl up in my bed and cry. And now I'm worried that do I have depression or is it just scoliosis? But yeah, depression is real, guys, and I've been on and off therapy. But I also have an addictive personality, you know. I have an addictive personality. I am addicted to candies. Yeah, I'm so much addicted to candies that they're slowly replacing my pills. And the other day, I went to my therapist and I told her that hey, this is happening. And she went crazy. She was screaming at me. She went berserk, you know. So now me and my therapist go for candy shopping together. Yeah, candies are good. Candies are good. But yeah, so 2022, I mean, we survived 2 years in lockdown, right? Yeah, and still nothing changed. The virus is still there, right? It's evolving like Pokemons. Remember that?
Yeah.
Like we have so many variants. It's almost like Pokemon. And just like the later season of Pokemon, nobody gives a shit about the virus anymore. And like I see people partying on the streets, you know, and people partying in Goa. So, okay, Goa in India is basically Vegas. Okay, it's the Vegas of India, Goa, and it's also run by Indians from India. Yeah. So anyway, people are partying out, you know, and see, the virus is not going even. I think at this rate, the virus is gonna outlast the Queen of England.
Yeah. I think so.
Here's the thing. Initially, when I started writing this bit, the punchline was, the virus is gonna outlast Betty White.
Oh, wow.
Then you know what happened, right? And I was so sad. I was like, holy shit. Now I have to rewrite my whole joke once again.
Wow. You had a big heart, Sid. Big heart.
Thank you. And that's been my time, guys. You guys have been amazing. Give it up for your amazing host, Mike.
Woo! Yes. And I notice people often call me amazing, or you're great, fascinating. Nobody ever calls me funny or entertaining.
Why is that, Mike?
Because I'm not, Chuck.
Tell us.
No, I'm not gonna. Why should I? I've embarrassed myself innumerable times in front of James Longshore's parents. No, and I can just hear the conversations, when he does a Zoom call just with his parents. He's going, really, why? Why this show? Why this show, James? He's very funny. He's very funny when you get to know. He's very funny and he's probably just giving up at this point. Okay, there's no
shaking your head.
There's no reason. I just go on that show because I found it and I do it. And I'm crushing on Chuck. It's basically. By the way, great haircut.
There you go.
James Longshore.
Thank you. It's really helping me move past those rapey guy roles.
There you go.
Crazy though, looking like a rapist will pigeonhole you.
Another thing, rapey guys.
Am I the only one who wants an opportunity with James Longshore's parents to say that ship has already sailed? Am I the only one who wants to?
No, you're not the only one.
Okay.
Incidentally, check in the chat. There's a bunch of ways that you can get even more of Sid Bishnu if you want to.
Yeah.
Even more.
And I love your Instagram handle, the Sidiot. Anyway, it's great. It's great. And our next performer also comes to us from that neck of the woods. Of course, there aren't any woods because they clear cut it in the 1600s. Thank you, British Empire. Thank you, British Empire. Actually, the 18th century, but nevertheless, who cares?
Well, that's why I didn't laugh because it was.
Yeah, that's when you laugh.
Only one of us was there.
That's going to be my cover of my autobiography. It's going to be Mike Langworthy, Witness to History.
I think that's also your sex life too, isn't it? Only one of us.
Hello.
Oh man.
It's my nickname on Grindr. Thank you. Okay. All right.
All right. Anybody else want to take a shot? Suraj is waiting very patiently. Suraj, how do you pronounce your last name, Suraj?
Ayappan.
Ayappan. Suraj.
Yes.
Ayappan. Yeah, very good.
I open.
No, it's not
Yeah.
Ayappan. You sick, disgusting animal. Man is coming to us from 12,000 miles away. He doesn't need us.
Right.
To point out all the shortcomings of his overpopulated. He doesn't need that. Show him some respect.
I know, right?
Hey, Suraj, how do you pronounce your first name?
The way I pronounced it, Suraj.
Yes. Mike has gotten it.
So fuck you, Chip.
Wow.
Mike finally managed to get
The
it.
show's getting a little too familiar. We're getting a little bit too much an Irish family. Anyway, I will talk to you after your set, sir. Please give us a big round of applause, folks.
Thank you, Mike.
All the way from not Mumbai.
Finally, Mike managed to get my name right after 8 months. Definitely, that's what you call quick learning. You tell them once and they get it right months later. So yeah, Chuck, I just wanted to say that I'm also a VIP, so please do consider me. And just for everyone's information, VIP stands for very Indian person.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm that kind of VIP. So is Sid too, but he's out in the hall, so don't consider him. But guys, it was Valentine's Day, of course, and sadly, my love life has been so bad that the worst date that I've ever had was this one on my background. Can you see? I know. Looks like a bunch of castrated, shriveled balls that no one ever wants. Yeah. And I'm so single that people prefer sex with me jokes rather than sex with me, to be honest. So on that note, I'm gonna plug in a sex with me joke. Sex with me is like a bringer comedy show. I really can't make the bringer come.
Hello.
The story of every comedian for that matter. But actually, I went to a nightclub once, and I tried to get dates over there, and one of the girls actually was looking at me, checking me out, and smiling like, and I thought, okay, here's my chance. So I went up to her and asked her, "Do you like me?" And she said the three words that every guy wants to hear in response to that: "Your zipper's open." Oops. But now I learned my lesson that next time when I go out, I will make sure to be extra careful to leave my zipper open to get chances. But in India, actually, when you ask a girl out, it works two ways: 50-50. 50% chance you end up on a coffee date, or 50% chance you end up on a pepper spray date. At least one of these, the guys get sprayed all over. Sid, you can relate to that the most. But I guess the folks in America here are wondering, how come this guy from India has an American accent? Like, it's not fake. I lived in the US for 12 years before moving back to India. Like, my dad wanted me to move back to experience the Indian culture, the family, the richness of India. That was just the Indian dad way of saying, son, I'm going to keep you a virgin.
Wow.
Yeah, I moved back at the age of 13. So think about it. I had to swap or give up prom and fun for exams and school uniforms. That really sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, but fun fact, I didn't know the meaning of the word virgin until the age of 14. I'm not kidding you. So in my last year of school in the US, that's 7th grade, I was teased a lot by the kids there asking, Suraj, are you a virgin? And my parents always taught me, when you don't know an answer to a question, just say, I don't know. So that's what I kept saying every time. I don't know. But does that have anything to do with coming from Virginia? Yeah, I couldn't help it. That's all I knew about virgins at that time. Yeah, but being an Indian kid in the US, I was always told by my parents, you have to do something different from the other Indian kids. They're like, achieving a lot. You have to be different from them, stand out from them. So I failed kindergarten. Yeah, that made me stand out from the Americans as well. Yeah. My English was actually so bad as a kid. My English was really bad growing up because my parents thought it was a great idea to raise me as an Indian kid in the US, speaking in their mother tongue instead of English. Like, yeah, like my English was so bad that the teacher asked me, what's your favorite food? I like this certain food called dosa and kodi. So if I have to translate this to English, dosa is basically the Indian pancake, while podi, now this is a problem. The word podi actually means spicy powder, like chili powder, but it has another meaning, which is dust in our language. So I ended up saying I like to eat Indian pancake with very hot dust. Yeah, that did not go well because every time the janitor came to clean the classroom, the kids would be like, Suraj, leave some of that dust for Suraj. He'll have his Indian pancakes.
Oh.
I know. And I didn't know that there was a word called cousin till much later in my life. Like there were so many Indian kids we used to visit, and my mom would keep introducing them to me as my brother and sister. I was like, okay, why aren't they living with us then? They're like, no, in India we say brother and sister. That's how it goes. So when I changed schools, the principal interviewed me. She asked me, how many brothers and how many sisters do you have? That was a real challenge. I was like, I don't know. Just say a number, Suraj. Come on. 25 brothers, 25 sisters.
Does your mother
So
ever-
is it? Yeah. Then the principal was like, let's just put on your form many brothers and many sisters. And I kid you not, I was the only kid in that school with an introductory poster that said, Suraj, many brothers, many sisters. I'm not kidding you. Now that's why they probably introduced family planning, I guess. Yeah, but that's life in America for me, what to do. But I just want to end with this very last bit before I close. So I love cheese. Any cheese lovers in the house?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I like
Yeah, I love this room then. By this room, I mean open mic and not Sid Bishnu's hallway.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I have to plug that in. So I love cheese. I love the variety of cheese in this world. Like, India has cottage cheese, Italy has mozzarella cheese, and America has the best cheese in the world, Chuck E. Cheese.
Hello.
Chuck E. Cheese. But if you think about it, if you take out the E, the middle E in Chuck E. Cheese, it becomes Chuck Cheese, which sounds like a fun place for lactose intolerant people or vegans, whichever you dislike more. But you know what? Chuck Roy sounds better than Chuck Cheese. That's all I want to say.
True.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah. Like I would Chuck Roy and not Chuck Cheese. But with that,
Wow.
no, I love you,
As
man.
it
Love
is,
you, man.
happens,
Love you.
Chuck Roy has a little bit something to say about that, right, Chuck?
Right. Chuck Cheese is my nickname on Grinder. Hello.
There you go.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Can't believe we didn't get to that. joke.
Thank you so much for
Yeah,
having
thank
me.
you.
Good job,
One
Suraj.
more time for Suraj.
Hey,
Suraj.
Woo.
how much Roy can a Chuck Roy chuck if a Chuck? Oh, no.
356 pounds.
What's Chuck Chop that you put on grinder?
That's a lot of Chuck steak.
Chuck likes bear cheese.
Yeah, bear cheese. Ugh.
Not head cheese. What's head cheese?
Ooh,
Do you want to feel that one?
That's
That's
$50 a
that's-
pound.
that's Chuck's nickname on Grinder.
Thank you.
All right, well, you know what? As much fun as this is, and except for my portion of the show, apparently, it is pretty fun. We have to come to a closing act sooner or later, and we've come to our headliner for this evening. A man I've known for many years. We used to perform in all the New York dives together, and he still does. Please welcome Alan Enlow, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey.
Thank you. Thank you so much. What was that?
I don't have any idea. It sounded like you're someone in distress.
I'm hearing weird voices, but what else is new? So anyway, I feel like I'm required to say this now. Happy Valentine's, everyone. Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I'm such a moron. I actually forgot. I had to run to the store and grab something real quick. So I slipped it in there just in time. I should have taken Chuck's advice there and have a hideaway gift. But no, I'm luckily I'm in Brooklyn. We have things nearby. Anyway, I've actually been married for 33 something years. I've lost count at this point. I'm actually in a mixed marriage. My wife is Jewish, and I was raised Southern Baptist.
Ooh.
Thank you. Which I think is a good mix, because whenever my wife feels guilty, I can heal her. That's great. And it's great. My wife, we actually have a 29-year-old daughter, and it's great. She's Jewish and Southern Baptist, so she can have neuroses from two cultures. That's wonderful. But you know, I call my daughter my social justice hero, because if I say anything slightly off kilter, I always get in trouble. Like not too long ago, we went to a movie premiere, and there was a young kid afterwards answering questions. He was in the film. He was answering questions at the Q&A. And I thought he was so eloquent that I turned to my daughter and I said, wow, this kid is, by the way, he happened to be black, you know, and I turned to my daughter and I said, wow, this kid is so well spoken. And my daughter just like laid into me. She's like, oh my God, Dad, you can't call a black person well spoken. That's racist. Yeah, and she's right if I said that because he was black, but I said it because he was a kid. You know, because I don't know about you guys. You know, when I was a teenager, I couldn't talk. You know, if I had to do a movie premiere, I would have been so nervous. I would have sounded like somebody that just had a lobotomy. It's like, hi, my name Alan. I was in movie. I like movies too. I like movies too. 3, 4, 5. Okay. Thank you. I gotta go to the John, Paul, George, Ringo. I like the Beatles. But you know, I'm learning. My daughter's always teaching me new stuff all the time. I recently found out what two-spirit means. I don't know if you've heard about that. Two-spirit is something the Native Americans came up with a long time ago, and that's where they had certain members in their tribe who had both the male and the female spirit inside them, and they were very well respected. And I thought, well, you know, I think that would make a great name for a kinky Irish bar as well, Two-Spirit. You know, they could serve all kinds of weird concoctions. All right, here's your beer mixed with pina colada. And we also have this little pink umbrella, but if you want that, you'll have to bend over and I'll stick it right up your lucky charms. Speaking of perverts,
As we were.
Was that a good segue? Have you noticed that Joe Biden is just getting weirder all the time? What's with the constant whispering? You know, he sounds like a perverted Clint Eastwood. It's like, all right, you punks, you want to make my day? Get on your knees and I'll show you my infrastructure. But see, I don't understand the point. Now, I think this is like the third phone call that Putin and Biden have had together. I'm sorry, I don't understand the point, because you know that Putin can't stand Biden. He misses 45. There's actually a rumor that he sits around and watches old videos and gets nostalgic. It's, oh, look, here's the video with my comrade Donald getting pissed on by 2 hookers. Oh, those were the days. Those were the days. But see, I think the reason Putin think he can do whatever he wants, I think he thinks that he's a nice. People think he's a nice guy. You know, I'm sure he's like, no, you people call me bad man. That is not true. I'm good man. I love animals. I love horses. That's why I take pictures with naked. I take naked pictures of myself with horses. You know, my father once said that. You should always never put the cart before the horse, which I think is wrong, because when you're having sex with it, if you don't put the cart in front of the horse, it runs away. All right, well, I'm going to end with this, which is, it's only an hour bit, so it'll go fast.
Yeah.
And actually, my new motto now is, and I know this is going to sound strange for someone who calls himself a comedian, and I do that often. I call myself up and go, Alan, you're a comedian. Oh, thank you. And that my new motto is that there's no more joking. I'm not going to do any more joking. And when I say that, I mean, I'm only going to do it on stage, because I don't know about you guys. Like, whenever I tell jokes to my friends, I start losing friends very quickly. They don't want to be the guinea pig. You know, I have friends on my block who see me coming and point to the watch that's not on their arm. It's like, I gotta go to work now. Sorry, it's here. And I'm like, really? You go to work with the dog and a stroller with a kid in it? Oh, okay. All right. There are homeless people on my block that see me coming, and they're like, I'm gonna go look for a job right now because of you. But one thing, I just want to be a person. I don't want to be someone that just tells jokes 24/7, and that's why I would never want to be Jerry Seinfeld. You know, I mean, I want his money.
Sure.
I guarantee you, that is somebody who tells jokes 24/7 to the point where his family is going crazy. They probably all sound like him at this point. Comes down to the breakfast table. It's like, hey, you ever notice when you're eating grape nuts, there's no grapes, no nuts? It's like, Dad, stop doing stand up at the breakfast table. It's like, I'm not standing, I'm sitting down. And I guarantee you at this point, sex with Jerry is a total joke. You know, I'm sure his wife reads him the riot act every night. It's like, listen, Jerry, if I have to tell you one more time that I'm not going to get down on my knees, tap your penis and say, is this thing on? If you do that one more time, I'm closing the Clitoris Comedy Club. That's it for me. Thank you.
Yay. Alan Havey, ladies and gentlemen, is not the comedian who was just on. Wonderful comedian, but it's not the guy you just watched.
That's how I should have closed. Like a lot of guys, you know,
if you'd like me, my name is Alan Enlow. If you didn't, my name is Alan Havey.
There you go. Thank you.
Alan Enlow, big round of applause for Alan Enlow.
Right. Thank you.
Very charming. I was with Alan Havey.
So well liked Bruce Lipsky. It's like, I got to get out of here.
I waited till you finish your set.
Yeah, you know what? He told me before that he had to leave early, so he stayed for the whole show, and I'm very grateful. Thanks a lot, Alan.
Thank you. I got to run. God bless everybody. See you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks,
And a
Chuck,
quick
for helping
hi,
out.
Mom, to my mom and dad. Hi, Mom.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Are we going to try and do a picture real quick?
Silly photo.
Oh, yeah, stay, Bruce, before you take the picture.
I'll stay.
Just
So everybody wave. We'll just wave.
Oh,
Just
that's original.
Very silly. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. All right, that'll work out.
All right.
Hey, can we do it again? I had my mouth open. Can we do it again? I'm kidding.
Everybody had their mouth open.
That's Chuck's grinder name.
Can we do it again? I had my mouth open.
Name of the sex tape.
Oh,
A long name.
I had my mouth open.
So, good show, folks. Good show. Thank you all for coming.
Or however you reacted. Thank you. Good night.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks.
Guys, I gotta go. I have an audition tomorrow.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Okay.
Yay.
Tomorrow or your tomorrow?
My today, your tomorrow. When I wake up. Tomorrow is when I wake up, even if it's after 3 days of, crank.
That's a good book title.
Are my parents still here? Whoops.
Yeah.
No, they're still here.
They're
They don't believe in anything you say anyway, so don't worry
That's
about
right.
it.
Good luck on
All
your
right.
audition.
What you book it?
All the best.
Is it a Marvel
Thanks.
movie? James, is it a Marvel movie? What's the audition?
Passenger.
Passenger.
Oh,
Yeah,
Nice.
that's the name of the part, not the movie.
could be both. You never know.
Hey, at least it's not passenger with a number. So
Stay
you
in the
got
business long
Right.
enough,
Right.
you'll start getting a name.
But James, I think you have a great title for a book. My Today, Your Tomorrow. I like that.
My
Or, no, it's a soap
Your
opera. My Today, Your Tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or,
Break a leg.
yeah.
Do they use
Thanks,
soap?
guys.
do
Good
they use
night.
soap